at the end of the day, that makes consciousness a little tricky. And I would really like to hear your perspective on this, especially from what you were just saying. Is consciousness aware of your action, even if you are not actively aware in your action? So, like what you were saying, you know, if you the Mrs. Lizard, you know, says you get some leaves, you know, for you and your fellow lizard family, and you're just walking. You're aware that you're walking, but as you're walking, you're not aware, right? That's what you were just saying. So, is consciousness being aware that you are you're walking, or aware of your action, or is consciousness being aware while you're walking? If you are completely aware as you're walking, right? Are you completely aware during your action? So is consciousness the awareness of action or the awareness during action?
And see, that's where I'm confused, my fellow lizard, because sometimes when I'm, like I said earlier, when I'm sitting on a branch of the tree looking at the sun, I can certainly recognize how my tail feels, how my claws feel, how my tongue feels. I can recognize my bodily feelings, and I can recognize the sun giving its warmth and its energy to me through my body, and I can feel the winds, I can sense the leaves blowing, and I really get a sense of peace. However, I don't get that same feeling when I'm considering the future. But this happens to every iguana, and I think even the humans deal with this too. I'm not sure. I just see them mindlessly walking. But would it be?
The thing about human,
I completely lost track of what I was going to say. I had a point there for a second.
but then I think that's the thing that's conscious. Like I think that is a microcosm of our whole consciousness dilemma, right? It was losing the train of thought a loss of consciousness, or was it you were so conscious that no longer thoughts became absolute?
That is very true. Even sitting there talking about consciousness, I started to gain a little bit of consciousness. So maybe all iguanas have consciousness. It's just they decide when to use it.
Just perceived consciousness, because consciousness can come in different forms of perception, and there's levels of perception in relation to consciousness. So, you know, a level of consciousness might be aware that you're speaking, even if you're not what you're speaking of is totally not derived from awareness, but you are aware of your speaking. So you could make the argument that you were conscious, right?